Okay, let's get right into it. We're looking at a map, right? A tool we all use to figure out where we're going. But this map, this one, tells a totally different story. It points to a place that we know exists, a place that's recorded, but a place you are absolutely not allowed to go.
I mean, think about that for a second. What if a map led you somewhere forbidden? In this day and age where you can pull up a street view of almost any corner of the globe, the whole idea of a place being deliberately kept a secret, right there on the map, it just feels like a total contradiction. It kind of goes against the whole point of what a map is for.
And here it is. Just look at this. You pull up a satellite view of Sakai City in Osaka, Japan, and boom, right in the middle of all the concrete, the buildings, the hustle, there's this giant, perfectly shaped void. It looks exactly like a keyhole, just carved out of the city and filled with this dark, dense forest.
The contrast is just, it's jarring. On one side, you've got the non-stop energy of a modern city, and on the other, this island of silence, this ancient-looking patch of nature. It's like a pocket of absolute stillness, completely surrounded by the noise of the 21st century.
And let's be super clear, this isn't some fantasy location or a myth. It is 100% real. You can look up its coordinates right now, you can get in a car and drive right up to its edge, stand there on the pavement and look out over the water. But that's it. You can't go one step further. That is where your journey and everyone else's comes to a dead stop. So what is this giant keyhole? Well, it's not a city park, and it's not some secret military base. It's something way, way older, and honestly, a lot more significant. What we're actually looking at is officially recognized as the largest grave on the entire planet.
It's called the Daisen Kofun. The official story is that it was built way back in the 5th century to be the final resting place for a ruler named Emperor Nintoku. And when we say largest, I mean by surface area, nothing else even comes close. Not the pyramids, not any other tomb you can think of. This is number one. So let's try to wrap our heads around that scale. The main mound, the island part, is almost half a kilometer long. Its footprint on the ground is bigger than the Great Pyramid of Giza. It's just massive. And the human effort, who built this thing? Historians figure it took a constant workforce of about 2,000 people to build this monumental structure. I mean, can you imagine the coordination? It's an incredible feat of ancient engineering. And this wasn't a quick job, not by a long shot. The estimates say it took almost 16 years to finish. 16 years of thousands of people working day in and day out. The amount of sheer human effort is, well, it's almost impossible to really comprehend. So that brings us right to the heart of the mystery. We've got this colossal, ancient wonder just sitting there in plain sight. So why is it sealed off? Why is this one of the most inaccessible historical sites on the planet? Well, the answer comes down to something called the Imperial Seal. See, the whole site is controlled by Japan's Imperial Household Agency, and their position on this is totally absolute. The official reason they give is very clear. For them, this isn't an archaeological site. It's a sacred grave. To go in and start digging would be a massive act of desecration. And when they say, do not disturb, they mean everyone. This ban isn't just for tourists. It applies to the world's best archaeologists, historians, scientists. Nobody gets in. They don't issue permits. No digging is allowed. The site just remains in complete, undisturbed silence. And this isn't just a rule written on paper. It's literally built into the tomb's design. The whole thing is surrounded by 3 enormous water-filled moats. It's a literal fortress designed hundreds and hundreds of years ago to keep people out, and it's a job it still does perfectly today. So naturally, when you lock something away this completely, it just fuels massive speculation. People can't help but wonder, what is so important that it needs to be protected like this? Or maybe, what's being hidden? And this creates a huge divide. On the one hand, you have the official reason, which is all about sacredness and respect. But on the other hand, you have this much more controversial theory that the real reason it's sealed is to contain some kind of historical secret, a secret that could actually rewrite the official story of Japan's imperial family. So what kind of secrets are we talking about? Well, what if the tomb doesn't belong to Emperor Nintoku at all? What if there are artifacts inside that could prove a direct link between the imperial line and early migrants from Korea or China, which would challenge the whole divine origin story? Or hey, maybe it's nothing like that. Maybe it's just an incredibly unique, pristine ecosystem that's been untouched for over 1,000 years. Without access, they're all just questions. And all of this leads to the really fascinating place this tomb holds in the modern world. The Daisen Kofun is Kind of a paradox. It's celebrated on the world stage, but at the same time, it's completely hidden from it.
Just think about this contradiction. In 2019, it was made a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a treasure for all of humanity. But it's a treasure that humanity can't actually see or touch. The only visitor experience is this one small viewing platform where you can stand and look across the moat at a wall of trees. That's it.
And really, that's what makes the Daisen Kofun so powerful today. We live in this age where we expect every ruin to be dug up, every artifact analyzed, and every secret put on display behind glass in a museum. This place, it just completely defies that expectation.
And that's the real key, I think. The map shows us where it is, but the restriction, the big no entry sign, that tells us what it means. Its power today doesn't come from whatever might be buried inside. It comes from the deliberate, powerful act of just leaving it alone. The silence itself is the message.
Which leaves us with this final thought to chew on. We've mapped pretty much the whole globe. We've explored the deepest oceans. We've taken pictures of galaxies billions of light years away. In a world like that, maybe the greatest treasure we have left isn't finding something new, but having something we all agree to leave alone, as a perfect, unanswered question.